Hey Queens, I am so excited about this conversation I'm about to have with the one and only Miss Chit Chat, mostly known for creating a huge space for women in hip hop to showcase their talent and evolve in New York City and beyond, not to mention becoming a successful entrepreneur. Thank you so much for joining me. What inspired you to start the chat room?
So what originally happened was I used to be an intern for a publicist. Her name was Jessica Pinzari. She used to work for Jill Zarin, Amber Rose, and a few other people. And I remember sometimes we would have to like send like out pitches to certain like websites and blogs, and they would not pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I want to create my own blog. I want to be the one who decides what people talk about. So that's how I first started a blog, and it was called IamStephanieNicole.com, and it was called Their Life. Oh yeah, Their Life, My Thoughts, Your Entertainment. And that
Mm-hmm.
was like the little catchphrase. So it was about hip hop, but it was also a lot of pop culture and a lot of gossip. And I definitely don't really gossip like that anymore when it comes to blogging. But at the time, yeah, I was talking about like more gossip. It was definitely more, on that side.
And so you talk about the journey of how you've grown the platform since launching in 2016 or 17, you said, right? How
Yeah.
has the journey been for you in just focusing on the specific area of hip hop?
I would say that the journey has been rewarding. To be honest, it has been very rewarding, especially now because, like I said, all these girls who are like big now, the Connie Diamonds, the Lola Brooks, the Billy B's, the Stunner Girls. A lot of these girls, like I projected, and a lot of people will say, like, "Oh my God, Chit Chat was saying for years that this person was gonna blow up. This person was so great. This person was doing so good." So now to see them actually doing what I said they was gonna do is extremely rewarding for me because people always remember that, and people now I get opportunities because of that.
Mm, exactly.
And
So,
I'm able to use the relationships that I built to, put things together. Like, right now I'm about to put together last year I put together a concert called Girl Chat, and I'm about to put together a part two this year. But it's like I wouldn't be able to do that if I did not build the relationships with these girls.
yeah, for sure. And what has been the most challenging aspect of it? Because it's never
The most challenging aspect will probably be to like stay away from like the politics and not get involved in the drama, especially because females are extremely catty,
yeah.
attitudes and all of that. So I would say the biggest challenge is trying to like stay positive and try to be a great person and not be a mean girl or be nasty because sometimes it's hard not to feed into the energy that they give in.
Yeah, for sure. And the industry kind of, I'd say, orchestrates it a lot between fans and the
100%.
industry.
And
Yeah,
and teams, I always tell people that I feel like the fans pin each other against each other, but also a lot of people's teams. Like when it
yeah,
comes to girls, they'll be saying like, "Oh, I don't think you should work with her," or "No, that's your competition," or this, that. And it's like a lot of the drama comes from the background. It don't even be the two exact people, which is
yeah.
crazy.
And I don't know if it's only me or you probably pick up on this too. It never directly starts between the two people involved. It's always
Hmm.
chit chat before, and then someone is triggered, and it's like, okay, go time.
Hmm. Yep.
So for like the rise of like females in hip hop, did you foresee it being like this massive? Because they're really, from our time, like 2010 to 2000, like 15, 16, it really was only Nicki. At
Um,
at the height of, of hip hop, like at her status. So did you like foresee this?
yeah, no, that's the thing. I knew it was gonna happen because she influenced too many people. They wanted to be like her. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
She
Yeah.
influenced too many people. And then on top of that, if we think back to like the 90s, there was Foxy Brown, Little Kim, Charlie Baltimore, Missy Elliott, Amel, Lauryn Hill, like all those people. So it's just like, okay, history's repeating itself. It's not too far fetched.
It is though, but would you agree that like from the 90s to now, it was more like of a camaraderie. Like there was beef. Lil Kim and Foxy, like that was a famous beef. Eve and Kim, like we had those like historic little tidbits. But do you feel like it's what's the biggest difference now between then and now, you feel like, with what we're seeing happening now? Because it's a lot to
I mean, I guess like you said, there's not what's the word camaraderie.
yeah.
um, but at the same time, I still kind of see it a little bit because it's like, okay, yesterday Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla,
Yes.
they brought out Lotto in Atlanta.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That's love, you know? And I see a lot of the girls, like when they do shows, they're bringing out other girls. Um, so you know what I think the biggest difference is, to be honest, back then it was no girls that was like you had to be a it was like you had to be a like the female, the first lady or something.
Yeah. A lot of, like, pinning to, like, each label that was full of men, right? And
Yeah, and now it's
this is in the
no, you could
forefront.
just be a girl. Like you feel me? You could just pop out and you
Mhm.
could be like, oh, it's not, you don't gotta be affiliated with nobody.
Yeah. So what have you been seeing in, like, artist development and, like, the artists that you deal with every day and that you have to work with every day?
As far as what? Because I see
Like,
a lot.
uh, well, I guess what are the biggest lessons you're learning, like, how it's motivating you, as a CEO or as, a leader in this space?
I've worked with a lot of artists too, also on like a management side, publicist side. I've done that too. So for me, the biggest lesson that I would say is that you really have to learn to surround yourself. Well, you know what I learned? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of girls,
Mhm.
and literally you could go on my page if you like. I drop a list every year of like top female rappers
I
in
was gonna
America.
ask you about that too.
They be arguing, they be causing drama, whatever the case may be. And it's like I always tell them, some of y'all be saying like, "Oh, she's not a better rapper than me," but it's like, okay, but she got the better full package than you. She works harder than you. She's in the booth every day, and you're not. Okay, you
Mhm.
got a better 16, but you didn't even record that 16.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing because it doesn't matter how talented you are if you don't have the work ethic to match. It does not matter.
So would you say that marketing is beating actual talent in when it comes to female rap these days in this day and age?
I feel like that's when it comes to rap period at this point.
Mhm.
The industry period, just because everybody we're in an era where everybody's super nosy. People always, want to see your lifestyle and stuff like that. So it's just like it's just not always about the music too much anymore. Not
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So about we're gonna switch gears a little bit. So about the showcase, talk about your experience in planning and curating that over the years and what you look forward to most with this year's.
Um, I last year I planned it all by myself. This year I'm planning it all by myself. Literally, barely any help. Um,
That's a lot.
and it's been rewarding because last year was a sold out show, and I'm expecting this year to be a sold out show, even though it's a higher capacity. I don't want to announce where it's at yet, though. But I definitely feel like it's rewarding to every time I put a show together or I have a set at a show. People will tell me, "Wow, this was a really great show. Like everybody that performed was great. It was a great show. Like I was happy, like I got my money's worth for my ticket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always like great artists. It's always a good show put on, even if you don't really know the artist that's performing. You're just happy because you've seen a good show. Sometimes you go to these showcases and like it's a whole bunch of bad artists, and then you gotta wait till the artist you actually came to see comes on. And
Yeah.
it's like I feel like that's so draining. And me in my career, I had to go to so many of those shows. I still have to go to them sometimes because I get booked. And it's just like I hate that for people to have to go watch a whole bunch of bad artists.
Yes. How do you hold auditions or like how does that process work for you?
Um, I have my eyes on people that I be seeing working or whatever, people that support also because I'm big on like people that I see support in the chat room because it's no way we're gonna grow if you guys are not supporting, right?
Yeah.
So if you're supporting and you're, just being a team player and I see you like, you work well with others, you're 9 times out of 10 when I'm ready to do the show, I'm gonna hit you up. Also, I do have like spots for openers or whatever. I let people open, but I have to like listen to their music and know that it's okay before it's like,
Yeah. So
I'm not gonna,
it's
huh?
it's really all 360. Like you have your hands in the A&R side, you have your hands in the event planner side. You
Mm-hmm.
have to oversee everything. It's like most women in the industry, it's like we're never wearing one hat at all. Um,
Right.
how are you
Mm-hmm.
finding
Mm-hmm.
like the balance of, effectively getting everything done, but then still keeping it all together?
Balance. I always say that it's really, really hard for me to find balance. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like my life a lot is like oversaturated with work to a certain extent. Like I don't really have a lot of leisure time. I don't really spend time with my friends like that anymore. Like for the last couple of years, my life has been really 100% dedicated to this. It's like I probably need a vacation and stuff like that. So it's like I really don't have balance right now. But that's something that I am praying that I learn how to manifest to be more balanced.
And then on top of all of that, you just opened the studio in New York
Mhm.
City.
No, it's in Jersey.
Oh, it's in Jersey. Okay. Where in Jersey?
Mhm. It's in Newark.
Newark. Okay. So talk about that process and what led you, well, I kind of can guess what kind of led you to do this, but what motivated you to kind of expand your business
So
into that?
I always wanted to open a content studio. To be honest, it's something I wanted to do since 2020. I've been saying it. I mean, when I lived in Atlanta, I used to tell. I used to work. I used to work at Winter Circle Publishing studios, and I used to always think I want to open up a studio. I want to open up a studio. I didn't think content studio though. I just kept saying I'm gonna open up a studio. It's gonna be called Chit Chat Studio. And then I was like, I would always be paying to record like my interviews and stuff. And
Yeah.
it was not cheap. I was just telling somebody before, like I did this interview, I'm like, every time I would do an interview, it would cost me like at least $500
Yep. Yep.
because the studio, the hair, the makeup, the whatever. So
Yep.
it would always cost me money, and it wasn't. Didn't love. I didn't love the setting of nobody's studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm also will always be booking peer spaces to do photo shoots, or even with like the girls that I was working with. I don't work with any girls no more because I decided that I wanted to transition into just fully focusing on being like Little Miss Chit Chat and my media platform in the content studio.
Hmm.
But before that, I was always booking peer spaces for the video shoots and stuff like that. So I'm like, why not make your own thing?
Yeah, that's so smart. And it is. I think most creatives, especially if you are funding everything yourself, it can get heavy. So that is definitely a huge accomplishment for real.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so so the space is open to podcasters and like the different types of content, or what are you looking?
Yeah, different type of content. I actually think I want to produce some shows too for some people.
Perfect. Wow.
Yeah, I have like some show ideas. One of my friends, she's like a I don't know if you ever heard of the Hood Horoscopes page on Instagram.
No.
Okay, so she like does like tarot reading. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to do like a new version of Miss Cleo, have people call and then she does like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to do something like that. So I want to produce shows as well. So I feel like this is a space where I can help people do their shows. Because I know a lot of people want to do shows and they
Hmm.
don't. And then also just get the girls taking pictures and stuff because they don't be having places to take pictures for like, Instagram and stuff like that.
I did see Raven there the other day and it looked beautiful. It looked
Thank you,
from the
thank you, thank you. Yes.
little shots that she took looked amazing. So
Yes, you can
no,
definitely stop by too.
thank you. I will definitely will, and it definitely looks like the girls will get like some beautiful shots.
Hmm.
So I love that. So what do you have planned next for your actual media platform for the chat room?
Um, we're about to launch like a performance series, freestyle series called
Okay.
In the Chat.
Okay.
So yeah, pretty much similar to on the radar.
Yeah.
I normally when I first started doing interviews, period, I was doing freestyles with every interview, but some people would act weird about doing freestyles, which would annoy me so bad.
Yeah.
Um, so now it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna do this freestyle performance platform, and then I'm gonna get back to doing my interviews as well. But
Like
I want it to be like Rhapsody, huh?
Rhapsody, that's a vibe because there's nothing
Yeah, that's
out like
I want it
Rhapsody
to be
right now.
like Rhapsody.
So what are you doing, just only up and coming artists, or are you looking to like step into like the celebrity realm? Like where are you
I mean, I'm open to it all. I mean, I have interviews with. Yeah, I mean, it all depends. I'm not against doing an interview with nobody, but I'm not thirsty to do an interview with anybody if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It
Mhm.
has to be. I personally don't like doing interviews with people that I don't really know that well.
Yeah.
Um, because I'm like I said, I'm shy. I didn't know that I was gonna be on camera doing all this stuff like that. I was always a writer.
Mhm.
And sometimes it gets a little awkward when I don't like when people's managers or team try to force them to do an interview. Like a lot of female rappers, just because their manager or team will know like my like position in female rap, they
Yeah.
will try to say, "Oh, like I want you to do an interview with her," and then the girl gets there and she's not really into it,
Yeah.
and it's just like, don't put me in that position.
I mean, at the core, you just gotta love what you do, period, right? So like it has to
hmm
be organic regardless.
Right, exactly.
So I get that completely.
And that's very important to me, honestly. Like standing, being authentic. That's
Yeah.
something that I really pride myself on being is authentic, be keeping it real, um, being God fearing, and just literally, I just try to keep it real at all times, and just be a good person.
I always say that is the hardest. I don't know about you, but I can speak to that as well. Like, um, keeping your spirit in like a environment that's so driven to like strip you of that because everything is so driven by ego. It's like it's
Um,
very hard. And I feel like the only solution I've seen over the years is like isolation to like regroup and catch yourself for a second.
yeah, I was gonna say, like I said, these past couple of years, I spent so much time by myself, more than I've ever spent by myself before, which is crazy.
Yes.
But I had to do it because I had to get my mind right. I had to know when like things are draining me and stuff like that. And there's a lot of times like I'll talk to like friends and stuff like that are not in the industry.
Yeah.
So they don't really give a fuck about this shit. You know what I
They
mean?
they don't, but in my experience, it's kind of hard. I don't know if you feel like this. It's kind of hard to speak to people outside of the industry because they don't typically always get it.
Yeah, that's why I don't. So it's like always feel like by myself. And sometimes when I do, I used to more so speak to other girls in the industry and be cool with everybody.
Yeah.
But now I learned that that's not really, you can't really be like that because, especially with me, because I'm not stopping. I'm
Exactly.
gonna keep going.
Exactly.
And if y'all not doing that, y'all gonna start feeling away. Like you feel me? Or
Yes.
it might be tension. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like I just stay focused on the prize and try to keep it business with people. I don't get too close with people anymore and stuff. I just try to stay focused and do what God wants me to do for real. For real.
I definitely can relate, and I definitely understand. It's like no hate, no beef for anybody, all love, but
Mhm.
I just can't. You have to like you said, just stay focused on what your mission or your goal is.
Mhm.
Um, and
And
s-
that's why I love working with Raven so much because even though we are friends, she's someone who I just feel like follows the same model. Like, okay,
yep.
we not getting into like the gossipy, messy side of things. We trying to handle business, you know?
Period. Period. I said that Raven is the longest, one of the longest relationships I've had. Um, and that's very rare, I should say. People get into weird energy for real, and you
Yeah,
have
they do.
to you really have to, so you gotta respect the real ones for sure. And so that's very fitting because you created a space where maybe up and coming female rappers can find like some sort of like connection or a place where they feel comfortable
Yeah, and that was important to me too because I know a lot of girls like girls be getting kicked out from their houses. They be asking to come to my house. They be nothing like that, but like they
Yeah.
be having a lot going on. They be like, "Oh, I just want to come to your house for like an hour, 2 hours." Like they be needing somewhere to go to chill, like whatever. But I don't want them to come to my house necessarily because I just feel like that's too personal.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then it's like I'm letting people. Next thing you know, people want me to watch their kids, and it's just too much. But it's like if we have this content studio, it's like
Yeah.
okay, we know this is the hub for us to go. You can chill. Nobody gonna feel like they can sleep there. Nobody gonna feel like
You just giving providing a resource essentially. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they know that there's somewhere that they can actually go to get help. So that is amazing
Mm-hmm.
in itself. So let's get into it. Your list, 2024. I know we're only technically 5 months in, but a lot has been going on. Okay. So who I would, okay. I don't, should I say top five or top 10? I'll make it easy for you. Top five female rappers on your radar right now.
In New York or
They don't necessarily have to be from New York only.
JT's doing her thing right now, definitely.
Mhm.
Connie's doing her thing right now, Connie Diamond. Um, Libra Jolie, you know who that is?
No, I've never heard of her before.
I believe she's from Texas. She's doing her thing. She's actually on tour right now.
Mm.
Ken the Man, I think she's from Texas too.
Ken the
You know
Man,
who that is?
yeah, mhm.
Yes, I love Ken the Man. I feel like she's actually very underrated.
Yes. She's very
Which is weird that she signed to Rock Nation. I thought that maybe I shouldn't say this, but I thought that since like Meg and the Stallion, all that stuff happened with Tory and all, I thought
yeah.
Rock Nation was gonna give it up and put their money into the man and like you feel me? That's what I thought. But I guess not. Like it seems
I feel
like
like
they.
it had the boomerang effect, the opposite effect actually. Like they ended up putting more into
Yeah,
yeah.
and from what I'm hearing, they doing a lot to like keep her relevant. It's just like, is it really worth it?
Yeah. That's a we can get into that conversation if you want, but yeah, it's a lot, but I do you can kind of well finish your list first and then I'll
I had one more person that I wanted to say, right? It's so hard. Five. Who else is doing anything? I guess I'm gonna just say Billy B, just because she has that song with Hayes Warner.
okay.
Just a girl, and that song hit Billboard.
Okay, yeah.
So that was like a really, really big deal. And she was on Pix 11 News. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
And she had a song on WWE.
Is she independent?
Yes,
Yeah,
which is
so
even
that's
more
lit.
crazy. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, she's
that's
doing
lit.
all this independent. Like, a
Yeah.
lot of people don't talk about it like that, but that girl is somebody who, like, yeah.
Sometimes the slowest burns be the best though, because we could follow these artists for years, and then when they finally do get their just dues, it makes it that much more gratifying because you
Yeah,
watch.
that's how I feel about Connie. I feel like I watched her for so long that like I really she was at Summer Jam. First of all, I forgot about Summer Jam because they
Me
did not
too.
have it.
There was no
I
marketing this year.
until she posted on her story and I was just so happy. Like, yes, Summer Jam. Like I'm just so happy for like everything that she's doing. Being able to see her on a song with Remy Ma, who I know, being from the Bronx, I know that I'm not from the Bronx, talking about her. She's from
Yeah,
the Bronx. I know that Remy Ma inspired her like crazy because I remember that era when Remy Ma came out and it was just like, especially being a brown skinned girl, I know like that really meant something to her. So for her to be able to do a song with her is like just amazing.
yeah. I'm definitely I definitely respect the women who are it's harder when you're not backed by a machine. So I definitely respect even though I feel like most even commercial rap female rap artists right now are taking the independent route, which is crazy, or doing distribution deals um
Mm-hmm.
only, which is like what would you what would your advice be to female rappers who are starting out right now, not those who've been on the grind and already into their groove, like the ones
Mhm.
who want to start out like in 2024.
What you mean? What would be my advice as
Um,
far as?
as far as artist development and just reaching success in general.
I mean, I would just tell them to, like I said, be authentic, be consistent, and just drop. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, I don't think I would, because I would have to know the artist to really say. Because for me, every artist is never going to be the same, like scenario, same formula for every artist. It depends on their music, depends on their style, depends on their personality. You know.
Yeah. I
Um, But a big thing that I would say, and I have say this all the time, is do not fuck your managers. These people that come
Mm,
in saying, and people get mad when I say this or whatever, but I say it like this because a lot of girls, I see them ruin their careers all the time. They
mm.
meet a guy, supposed to be their manager or whatever the case may be, helping them with their career. Next thing you know, they sleeping with him, and now it's a whole bunch of other stuff that's getting involved in the work, and it's messing it up.
Hmm. That's a big one. That's a big one. And even if you
Even down,
even
what? Who is it? Is it was that Tink and Hitman or whatever his name is?
Hitmaker, yes. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like that's so tragic because Tink is so fucking talented.
I feel like Tink has been through the ringer. I don't know if I classify her as a rapper, but
No,
um
I don't know. She's not a rapper. No, she
yeah.
can rap. She can rap.
She
But I don't
can
really
rap.
classify her
Yes,
as a
yes.
rapper. But I'm just speaking of female artists. Period. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, because and I feel like take her journey for example. She went through the ringer because she was with Timbaland at first. Something
Mhm.
happened. And then you saw her with Hitmaker, and you know he's talented. We
Mhm.
all know that, so we know he had the capability to like make her come back something to watch, you know. And I just, yeah, it was so unfortunate to kind of see.
But yeah, y'all getting caught up in that, and then also like look at City Girls.
Yeah,
Y'all messed up y'all. Well, they not that wasn't their managers or whatever. But I just want people to just really try to. I want people to girls to really focus on them, themselves, and their careers,
yeah,
and put the relationships on the back burner.
take the emotions out of it.
And yeah, it's like at least till you get to closer to where you want to be, because now there's no more city girls, right? They both wanted to be paid and put up or whatever the case may be. But now, JT, you want to be a rapper again. Now, Diddy got hurt, Young Miami looking crazy out here. And it's just so unfortunate because they really had a big movement. Like, you feel me?
And they did, and now I just feel like it's a battle of. It's sad to say, but I think a little bit of ego on whoever's side. I'm not saying we don't know, right? Like the exact situation, but I think it's the yearning for wanting to be the solo artist on both
Mm-hmm.
ends. Like
Mm-hmm.
when it came to that specific situation, like they didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
share the spotlight anymore.
Um, but I only feel like that. I feel like that's because they got into their relationships and they let their relationships.
But yeah, split it
Of
up.
course, Jinky went to jail, which I'm pretty sure her going to jail was the first thing that like whatever
Yeah,
separated them. But I feel like them, your man is Uzi. He got you doing this. Da, da, da. You flying here. You with Diddy doing whatever. It just don't go hand in hand. You know.
yeah,
It's
yes.
just a,
So we've definitely seen the elevation of female rap. I can't even keep up these days, to be honest. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I really can't keep up because there's so many female artists
mhm.
now. Like it's something that we're not even. It's new. It's something new that we're living. It's a new era that we're living in. I feel like I've never seen this much talent on the forefront at the same time. Um, so I am confident and I know that the chat room will continue to elevate and grow along with the culture.
Yes.
And I definitely look forward to seeing what you have in store as far as like the new artists that you're putting on and that you're featuring. I just want if you have anything that you want to share, because we're winding down to like 5 minutes and I feel like I don't want to keep
Yeah, that's it. The only last thing I want to say is that I'm working on a project that I want to executive produce. I want it to be like a DJ drama type mixtape, a DJ Khaled where I put a whole bunch of different artists on it for the city. So yeah.
Be sure to check out all things the chat room as well as Miss Chit Chat's movements on all social platforms and visit the blog for more, noviarose.com.